About a few dog trainers, which I've talked about most of them before, at least once or twice on my channel. I think it's really important that people understand that when you contact a dog trainer, you should really understand who you're contacting and what they're about. We have a whole spectrum of dog training, and the two extremes. There's extremes. There's extremes where people are like, no, you don't say anything negative to the dog. You just give them food. Horrible. And then there's the abusive section over here where they hit the dog. It's not good. And tonight I'm going to particularly talk about this section over here that advocate hitting the dog. And I know that a lot of you don't know this, but there are dog trainers out there that are selling this thing called bonking. Now, here's a section of a video that I did on a dog trainer that does seminars, and the other dog trainer I'm going to talk about, Jeff Gellman, he does seminars too. But here's Gary Wilkes, and he will give you a good example of what bonking is.
Okay, bud. No.
Now, bonking, what they do is they roll up a towel and they hit the dog with it. And it's really screwed up, and there's probably some people that are saying, well, at least it's soft. The dog sees it. It could be a log coming at the dog, or it's a solid object to the dog. You never hit a dog with anything. You'll make them, wince and shy, hand shy. You're going to screw up your dog doing that. Do not listen to these people. And Gary Wilkes is just as bad. Most of these people belong to something called the IACP, the International Association of Canine Professionals. And if I wanted to lump them in one group, I would lump them in dog whisperers. And dog whisperers are people that are self-taught. And I know there's somebody out there that's going, you're self-taught. No, I am not self-taught. My father taught me. I learned stuff hanging out with my dad. You have to learn from someone. You can't learn from watching a TV show, which is fake anyway. I hate to use that term, but it is. It's an edited TV show. So it's a lot of people that come from that background. I watched Cesar Millan do it, and I can do that too. Well, that's not dog training, okay? That's an edited TV show. Do you ever hear him use any commands at all? No. He doesn't use commands because he's a dog whisperer. It's totally different. That's the IACP. Now, somebody that was on the board of the IACP, which I believe has been removed from what I understand, and I have a source, and I'm not going to say who it is. I don't want to use her name, not because I think that she would care, but it would be sort of like I'm using her name because she's well known. She's a hot blonde. You can figure it out who I'm talking about. So I get some information from her. I didn't know that this was going on with Jeff Gellman. I did know some stuff had transpired because I've talked about it on my channel. And what I did know is I saw a video from Caine 1 talking about Jeff abusing dogs. And Jeff was saying, in the video, I saw him say this. So I have said this on my channel many times. It doesn't matter. What are you going to do, sue me? It's your own words, Jeff. So Jeff says in his video that 99% of the dog trainers choke out dogs. And I'm like, what? Choke out a dog? And he even goes into more depth. Like MMA, choke the dog out. No oxygen, the dog passes out. And I don't know of one person. Granted, I don't know a lot of dog trainers. I do not come from that kind of background. I didn't go to a school. I'm not in the dog training world. I'm sort of like an outlier. I don't associate with a lot of dog trainers. I know about a handful that I would consider friends. That's it. So it's not real. So I don't hear about this. And then I heard about I heard that on that a friend that's a dog trainer said that I should watch the Caine 1 video, and I did. And then the hot blonde friend, who will go nameless, mentioned that there's been more trouble with Jeff, and that evidently Jeff is being investigated for animal cruelty, which is not, it's not a shock. Because you hear Jeff on these videos advocating stuff like this, like choking out a dog. This is a guy that trains other trainers. People that call themselves dog trainers, like Jeff does. Jeff calls himself a dog trainer. Dog training has to do with conditioning in commands repetitiously. That's dog training. Teaching, it's not even teaching. This is how I feel about it, the whole bonking thing. I think that there's people out there that are really confused about how to train a dog and are frustrated. And some of them are really fucked up and are just looking for that person that will tell them that it's okay and it's not abusive to hit the dog, to bonk the dog. Now here's Jeff bonking a dog. Yeah, that's not cool. That's not cool. What happens when you do that is it causes excitement in the dog, and the dog will shut down. So you can't be conditioning the dog because the dog doesn't really want to do anything. So it's highly ineffective, and it's going to make your dog like hand shy and, you know, shy from objects, and you have something in your hand, it's going to think that you're going to hit it with it. You're going to screw up your dog. So we have a guy like this that's going around selling seminars. And you can look on the internet, and he goes around the country selling these things. They're like a couple times a week, going to foreign countries, $700 a ticket, something like that. And he's making money advocating abusing dogs. That's just abuse.
So you want to see that right there? We can walk right there.
Now, after he abuses the dog, now listen to the crowd. There's a lot of screwed up people going to these seminars. They think that's funny. That is, it's abuse. Yes, you use some negativity when you're training the dog. There has to be this, you know, hey, I'm happy about what you're doing. Hey, I'm not happy about what you're doing. Yes, you have to do that, but you don't do that by ever hitting the dog with any object or choking the dog. That's just the craziest shit I've ever heard. So choking the dog when he's talking about that sounds like he's helicoptering the dog until the point where it passes out. I don't recommend helicoptering the dog either. It's not good. It's not. So you have a guy like this that's spreading the word like, oh, isn't this a good thing? Watch it again. Did that look good to you? Does that seem like a method of dog training that's going to be effective? It's just bullying beating up on the dog. It's not training your dog. Your dog has to be trained with commands, and that happens over a period of time, and it's repetitious. If you hit a dog with an object, you're just going to fuck him up. You're going to fuck him up. You shouldn't listen to somebody like this, and you certainly shouldn't be paying $700 to hear garbage like that. This is a guy, Jeff, he had a radio show, I believe, for a while, or a podcast or something. I guess that's how he's known. But there's a lot of people in this IACP, that Sean dude, I don't know what his name is. Sean. I could start naming off names, but what's the point? Does your dog trainer say that they're part of the IACP? That's because he wants a little card with a seal of something on it so that he can look professional. He can put that on his website. I'm a member of the IACP. So what? So is Jeff Gellman, was on the board of directors, and he advocates, they call it bonking. Hitting the dog with a rolled up towel is what it is. It's a rolled up towel. You tape it. Look at it again. Look at it again. Look at it one more time. Now watch Gary Wilkes do it. Now, do you think that that's dog training? Do you see me doing that in my dog training videos? No, you don't, and you never will. I don't train with food. I train the dogs to play, and that's it. Sometimes the dog's body language doesn't look so happy, but I know at some point the dog's going to learn that everything's a game, and by the end of the board and train, the dogs that learned hold, they're doing retrieves and their tails are wagging and having a great time. I train with no food, and I don't have to beat on the dog with a rolled up towel. It doesn't matter to the dog if it's like a cardboard tube. When you're coming at the dog with that, it looks solid. It might as well be solid. You're not helping the dog, and Jeff Gellman is making matters worse. He shouldn't be a dog trainer. He shouldn't. Either should Gary Wilkes. But then again, you have the whole other side of the spectrum, somebody like Zach George. He shouldn't be either. You want to look for a conservative dog trainer, and you want somebody that's going to be realistic. You know how many lessons I do a week with people? 0. You know why? Because it's unrealistic. It's totally unrealistic. After a board and train, I'm going to tell you the facts here. After the board and train, I teach everybody, and it takes about three days. I teach everybody what the dog has learned and how to function in the pod. But one of the things it takes the whole 3 days is how to hold a leash. How to hold a leash. I trained a basketball player in New York City, and you would think that the young athlete would be able to hold the leash right. No, it doesn't work like that. It took 3 days. It takes everybody 3 days, a minimum, just to hold the leash right. Now look at the person that Jeff is working with. Look at the leash. What is that made out of? It's made out of nylon. It should be leather or simulated leather, a biothane leash. Why? Because it has the right weight and it has the right action. She's not holding the leash right. That's why she's having problems with her dog. She doesn't know how to use a leash. I'm not going to waste people's time, okay? And don't waste my time. And don't ask questions underneath my videos because I don't have time to answer them. And I'm never going to be doing some kind of Spengali routine like Jeff does. He does this thing, Ask Jeff, where somebody writes in a question and then Jeff answers it like, amp up the e-collar, use a crate more, and take the dog out more. Next. It's unrealistic. That is not dog training, okay? He shouldn't be working with dogs. He's being investigated and he's being removed from the IACP, evidently. At least that's what I'm told. I believe what I hear from my friend. I believe her. She would know. So that's the gossip, and I believe it's true. That's why I'm putting this video out, because I want everybody to know that if you're thinking about going to a Jeff Gellman seminar, don't. See if you can get your money back. Spread the word. Spread the word. Don't go to those things. To what? Learn how to hit a dog with a towel? Is that what you want? You want somebody to tell you that it's okay for you to hit your dog? That's what that is about. You want him to say it's okay to hit your dog. It's not. You know what it's okay to do is train your dog. And training is difficult, and it's repetitious, and it takes time. And if you don't have the time for your dog, then don't get one. It's a lot of work. Don't get one. By the way, this shirt, see this shirt? That's my client Marty. I've trained him to find marijuana. That's one of the things that he can find. Look at him. You want this shirt? Check out the back of it. Look at that. That's sweet, right? You can have this shirt. You can buy it on Teespring. I'm a whore. I'm a whore. But this is true. I would never smack a dog with a towel. I don't advocate that. I advocate training and a realistic approach to dogs. If you have kids, you might not want to get a dog. Don't you have enough on your plate? I'm the realistic dog trainer. I'm telling you, if you got a kid, you better have a lot of extra time if you're going to get a dog as a hobby, because that hobby takes work. And if you're frustrated with the dog and you want to roll up a towel and hit the dog and you want me to tell you it's okay, I'm never going to tell you that that's okay. I've been telling everybody this on my channel the whole time I've had the channel. You don't hit the dog with any object, ever. You learn how to use a leash. More advanced training, an e-collar. When used properly, you're using it real low. 9 times out of 10, I'm using that collar so low a human can't even feel it. Or the vibrate function. But you learn what to do. You don't just grab at something that, oh, really? He says we can hit the dog. Yeah, okay. Go ahead and do it. And no, if you're still doing that, you're abusing the dog just like Jeff. That man should not, and another thing, I saw a video on Jeff when I was going to do this video, so I was going to see if anybody's else done videos. And I saw Jeff talking about how he doesn't like, there's a new, in Rhode Island where he lives, there's a new animal cruelty law. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like it because he's probably worried that he's going to get some type of conviction. What Jeff did, and I don't recommend you go watch his channel, but what Jeff did is he put it all out on video. It's all out there for everybody to see. He said this stuff. He hit the dogs. He advocates amping the collar up, not down. The e-collar's a great tool, but when you have somebody like that going around advocating that, it puts a bad name on the product. It does. E-collars are great tools, but you have to use them right. And why would you go to somebody that's advocating hitting a dog? Don't go to his seminars. Don't watch his videos. Everybody should just move on and have nothing to do with them. That's my suggestion. Move on. Don't have anything to do with them. You're never going to see a video about this dude again. I'm never going to talk about this guy again. He's a loser. He's a loser. Don't go to his seminars.